Each day now, I'm milking the goats every morning, and I'm mixing the goat milk into my coffee. And it's incredible. Raw goat milk in the coffee, and I'm also able to sell some. I have a friend who comes and picks it up. Here I'm prepping this area for garden space. Here behind these pallets, I've planted some spinach, and then there's peas up along the fence. So those will grow up, hopefully do well along the fence, and then spinach will be great. From about that point there over, I'm gonna go ahead and put some other things in. I went ahead and ripped up the sod initially, and I'm cleaning this area. There's a little bit of debris in there, rocks and whatnot, getting all the big stuff out. I'm gonna go ahead and plant something in here. I'll put a couple posts and take these pallets out of here. These are gonna be here right now temporarily just to keep the goats and animals off of where I planted some spinach and peas. And then I'll put in some fencing to keep the goats and other animals out. I'll have some sections of garden here in here with me. These pallets will block the sun, so I'm not going to use pallets to fence. It's just a temporary thing for the moment. Finish this up and plant a variety of leafy green things, maybe a few pieces of garlic. I'm going to put the fence up around these posts. I'm actually going to go along the outside because it's really close to where the garlic is in here. And to go on the inside with the fence over there, I may disturb and hurt the garlic. It would be really difficult. Typically, you'd want to put your fence around the inside on your posts, especially with the animals, because it adds more security, makes it stronger, tougher. If the pigs push against it, it's pushing against the post as well. Whereas if it's on the outside and they push against the fence, it pushes away from the post and doesn't really give you as much strength. But because it's garden in here and not animals, it's not a big deal, and it allows me to be safe with the garlic. Use wire to tie together the fence to the posts instead of zip ties. I used zip ties way back in the day, but I've learned wire is secure. Zip ties will break. When I go to tie the fence to the post, I push the post slightly in and pull as tight as I can, and then wrap the wire so that when I relieve the tension I just put on the post, it straightens back up and further tightens the fence. Tea that I'm making here, this got pine needles in it. It's got mullein, dandelion. It's delicious. The dandelions, you can't really see the yellow heads on them because they went ahead and shrunk up. But they're in there. You can see some of the leafies if you look closely. And it's delicious. Continuously, I am incubating chicken eggs. I have another incubator on the way, so I will be getting another dozen going Monday. It should be here. I'm dry hatching is a technique where I just don't add water and it stays at the humidity that it's naturally at. Until the last few days, I will go ahead and I'll add water to raise that humidity up to about 70%. And you see there it's dialed in right at about 99 degrees Fahrenheit. Though the top indicator is high, it reads a few degrees higher than it actually is, which is why I have this thermometer and hydrometer humidity gauge to be redundant and be accurate as to what it actually is in here, because you can't really trust the readouts that come standard on these cheaper incubators. You have to be sure and have backups. So there are Orpington eggs in here right now, a white Orpington and regular Orpingtons. I even mark one egg so that it has the date on it. I got these eggs from a guy locally, so it should be great. this type of incubator, there's this spinning tray at the bottom. You go ahead and just remove that and set the eggs on top of the platform here, and then it no longer spins. It stops the rotating, and then it gives the chicks a safe place to hatch, because the spinning of the mechanism, if they're hatching, it can hurt the chicks. It can break their legs, it can damage them in a big way, so you don't want that at all happening the last few days of your incubation. It's called the lockdown phase. Here's the other bunch of eggs that I have. I rotate these eggs a few times a day and put them on different sides so that they are never sitting completely still until I get them in the incubator. They're probably about 5 or 6 days old right now, and they came from the Amish. You do that where you spin the eggs around so that the embryos don't stick to the inside of the eggs or they lose their fertility. It helps a lot in them staying fertile until you get them in the incubator at room temperature. The guy that I got the other eggs from, he went down a rocky road, and he told me that if you go down a rocky road and the eggs are exposed to bumpy roads, you wait 24 hours and let the eggs kind of settle and sit before you go and put them in the incubator, and that increases your chance of a good fertility. That was good to know that. Bunch of chicks here from the last hatch, and also the peacock chicks. I got peacock chicks now. I paid $35 for one of them and $45 for the other two. So one there, there's one there. Couple different types. One is gonna have white eyes, the other two are going to have blue eyes, which the eyes is that pattern on the feathers. I'm hoping to get a male and a female out of those, and I will start a breeding project. If not, I'm gonna do trades. A couple months ago, I stopped smoking marijuana, and I probably won't start smoking again. I wasn't dreaming. Now dreams came back. It's a crazy thing that happens. It's very common, actually, when you smoke, that you don't dream. Something happens there. 2 nights ago, I had this dream that everything flooded. Crazy. It was wild. It was up to this deck board, actually. It was this barn, this deck. And we've seen that Navy map. If you haven't seen it, it's when we go through the quakes and we go through cataclysm, is what it seems like, where it all gets divided and there's giant rivers and oceans and lakes running through the country, and it's all split up like Hunger Games zones. And part of Michigan on that map is underwater. It makes me think, and it's this location about, too, that I see is submerged. Is that a vision of the future? We have boats in the yard, so just in case.